Hello and welcome. Again, apologies because I'm still recovering from my cold or sore throat or whatever it is. So just in case, I'm hacking and sniffling or sneezing. But I'll try my best to keep it professional. So today, the movie we're going to review is For Richer, For Poorer. I repeat, the title of the movie, For Richer, For Poorer. And it's something that I saw on Morris Sam TV. Is it Morris? I mean Maurice. I'm not sure if it's French or English. Anyway, Morris Sam TV. One of those guys who likes to form fine boy, like Michael Dapper. And he starred in this movie with Sophie Alakija. And to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch the movie because I saw Sophie's picture on the, what do you call that thing? On the thumbnail, in YouTube. And I was wondering, Sophie Alakija, Maurice Sam, like waiting gum them because I always assume that she acts in more how will I put it now? Guy, I don't want to say the wrong thing anyway, but I just assume that she acts in certain kinds of movies. So when I saw her and Maurice, I was like, okay, let me line it up, let me watch. And then also from the title for richer or poorer, already had an idea that definitely marriage could be involved because for richer, for poorer, that's for those of you who are not Christian or who don't pay attention to Christian vows. It's something that is in a lot of traditional Christian vows. You vow to be with someone. Okay, a vow just means a promise. So you promise to be with someone, for richer, for poorer, for better, for worse, for blah, blah, blah. And of course, in the traditional Christian context, the reason why you make these vows is precisely because, life gets rough and things happen. And the Christian view of marriage is something that is permanent. So they don't want the kind of thing that, you enter and then things become shaky and then you now disappear. But, then again, you're in modern times, people have gone to the other extreme because my wife likes to watch, all these kind of stuff like, basketball wives, something housewives Atlanta, something housewife New York, something housewife London, all these housewives, something, all this reality stuff, and can be really interesting. But then one day there was a wedding that was going on, and some of the housewives were in attendance, and then I shit you not, this was the vow that the couple say. They say, "I promise to something, 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 for as long as love shall endure." I say, what did I hear? The woman too did her own vow, something, 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 for as long as love shall endure. And I looked at my wife and I said, for as long as love shall endure, that means this marriage go pack up me. And my wife laughed because, you know, I'm still a jambite when it comes to marriage. My wife and I, we've been married, we've been together for, don't they reach like almost like 20 years now, but the actual marriage itself was close to maybe like 15. And the problem with for as long as love will endure is I can tell you, even those of us in the early stage, like I have not matured in marriage at all. I can tell you there are lots of days that love does not endure. Like you wake up on a quarrel or something, something, and then this love no they endure. So if that's your vow, for as long as love shall endure, then wahala day as in serious yawa. So anyway, that's why I was drawn to the movie for richer or for poorer. And if you want to watch it, you go to. Although to be honest, I won't recommend you watch it, but I'll explain why. But just in case you're going to ignore my opinion and you want to watch it, Maurice Sam TV. That is the YouTube channel, and it's starring Maurice Sam, of course. Niger's fine boy. Those ones that like to form fine boy. Him and Michael Dapper. I'm not even sure who is number one, who is number two. Which one feels as if they're fine pass. So starring Maurice Sam and then Sophie Alakija. Now, there are some people who will say that this is another Nigerian movie about the price of fortune because there are a couple of movies that we see like this on Africa Magic and stuff like that. Somebody becomes rich, and then when he becomes rich, questions arise. Do his family members really love him? Does his wife really love him? All these kinds of things. Do his friends really love him? If he falls on hard times. So, this is it's a theme that has been explored in Nigerian movies before, which is also why I say maybe you shouldn't watch this movie, if you haven't watched it, because it's a theme that has been done time and time again. But for those of you who've been listening to this podcast, you know that for me, not just now, where they step on the scene. As per you guys have been watching Nollywood movies for a very long time, whether on DSTV or whether on YouTube. Now, for me, I used to tolerate Nigerian movies on um, DSTV just because my cousins, my sisters, my aunties, that kind of thing. But not like I used to watch it. Then this Omoni Oboli movie, the whole Odogu Parara thing. So that one comes out, and then my wife is like, "Let's watch it." And then I told her, "Hey, get Chinedu, let him download it for us, because Chinedu is this guy in our office. The guy is a pirate. Any film that you want to watch, the guy will download it for you. Any film, any kind of film. I don't know how the guy does it." And then my wife is like, "No, that is on YouTube now." I say, "What?" She said, "Yes, now Nigerian movies are on YouTube." I say, "It's a lie." So she put it up. We watched. Then from there, I think we watched the part two. Then from there, I watched another Amonio Bully movie. And since then, I've been hooked. I've just been watching and watching because I didn't realize that these things are on YouTube and they have good quality. So the reason why I watch this one is just because I'm still new in the space. If you check the podcast episodes, you see that this is my episode, I don't know, self number 3, I'll be number 4. So like I'm a jambite. So I was just curious. That's why I watched it. So anyway, let's go straight into this review. So Maurice now in the film, his name is Oliver. Now, Oliver is a wealthy businessman, as in very, very wealthy businessman. In fact, when I started the film, early in the movie, Maurice, he woke up and then he dressed in a suit. And this is another thing, Maurice Sam, Mr. Sam. This guy is always wearing loud colors. I don't understand. But the guy is bold, Sha. So I like his style. He's bold. I'll never wear the things that he wears, but the guy is bold. He wore a pink suit in this film. He'll wear bright pink, bright blue, like very loud yellow, all those kind of colors. So, Mr. Morris, I admire your courage. I admire your courage. So, in the film, the guy woke up, he bathed, and then Sophie Alakija is lying down on the bed. Then he went to go and kiss Sophie. And in my mind, I'm thinking, this guy's don't come again. You just be making film, just be kissing and pressing anybody up and down. And then next thing, the guy just brought out bundles, hard currency, not naira. And his attitude was like, "Oh baby, I love you. This one is for being beautiful." He now dropped bundles. He dropped dollars, stacks on her. She smiled. She said, "Oh baby, stop." And then he said, "This one's for being sexy." He dropped it again. So, "Oh, baby, you're spoiling me." He said, "This one's for being gorgeous. This one is for the air you breathe. This is for the one that you're beautiful. This is for the song." I said, "Hey," I went to and tell my wife. My wife was laughing. My wife said, "Hey, be showing me love like that." And I said, "Don't worry, the time is coming." Myself, I would just wake my wife up and say, "Hey, baby, this is for being beautiful. This is for being sexy." I go to just drop dollars, drop dollars. So that's how Oliver is. Wealthy businessman, as in wealthy as, you understand? But and everything is good between him and his wife, Naya. So Sophie, she played a Yoruba girl, and well, anyway, she's yellow, so I guess it's believable. So all is good until Oliver's friend Martin decides to do some money laundering and uses Oliver's account to do that. So that's how Oliver now gets in trouble with EFCC. Well, not EFCC. I think it's called FCU. I'll be something like that. Financial crime, something, something. So, shall like the EFCC, and then his assets got frozen. Now, initially, now when his assets got frozen, now as in all the accounts, even the houses, everything. So initially, Naya was kind of understanding. She's like, no wahala now. Let's just go to Momsy's house. Let's go and stay there. So, Oliver agreed. He followed Naya, go to his Momsy's house. And that's when things started going south. Because, as this thing they be now, Nigerian police issue, EFCC issue, how this thing can drag and drag and drag. I used to be a lawyer, so it's just one of these things. You will go today, the judge will not sit. You will come in 2 months' time, the judge will sit, and then, you're still in preliminaries. After that, some technicalities, and these things can drag. And the thing was dragging now. That's how Oliver began to chop serious insults in the house. Mad insult. As in his mother-in-law, no rate him, she did insult him. Even his wife, Naya, she can't insult him, as in the guy see shege, serious shege for their hand. But anyway, remember that this is just a Nollywood film, so because some of you will say, this is not realistic. This thing can never happen in real life. Blah blah blah. No man will tolerate this. This is see, just forget all forget all those kind of things. When we're watching these kind of movies, these kinds of Nollywood movies, just know saying a parable you they watch. You get right? It's just a parable. So the filmmaker is trying to teach you something or is trying to explain something. So they always ratchet up some things, beyond reason. So not just the normal color, the normal fragrance of Nollywood films. So don't watch it from the angle of this thing is unbelievable, this thing is not believable, blah blah blah. But sure, they show this guy Shege, serious, serious, serious Shege. So excuse me. So anyway, eventually, Naya starts to see other men, and she divorces Oliver. Then what again? In fact, one of the men that Naya started to follow ended up defrauding her. So she even lost her property because the place where they were staying was Naya's mom's house. And anyway, there was some scam involved. Let me not go into too much detail. But the thing is, Naya moved on to somebody else who ended up defrauding her. Then Oliver eventually would leave um, his mother-in-law's house and move in with his friend Efe. And so from there, the charges were dismissed eventually because they were able to find Martin, who used Oliver's account for fraud, and then his fortunes got restored. And then, normal now, like Nollywood film. Now that his money is back, the mother-in-law now has a change of heart. And then Naya also now has a change of heart, so they come to apologize. But in the whole midst of, I don't need your sorry, blah, 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 blah. That's how Naya died. So the whole thing of, she apologizes and it's like, look, I don't care about your apology. I forgive you, but, we're divorced, nothing did happen. So in that whole back and forth now, that's how, excuse me, one mad driver, he just a drive anyhow. So the guy just clear Naya. So Naya just died. She just cried, just like that. Anyway, but there's a twist to the movie that I will not reveal to you. Now, normally, I don't care about spoilers and I just say everything as it is. And please, if you do not like spoilers, if you do not like knowing what's going to happen ahead of time, please do not be listening to my podcast. You will find it very vexing because I just say everything as it is. But honestly, the twist in this film, I say, Kai, no, 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 no. Like they didn't execute it too well, but I like that they were brave enough to try it. So, if you want to go ahead and watch the movie again, for richer, for poorer, Morris Sam TV on YouTube. I'll leave it to you anyway, whether the twist was good or not. But quite frankly, I liked the twist because I like when Nigerian movies try. How do I put it? When they try counterfactuals. Yes, life is like this, but what if life were different? All these kinds of things. So Igbo people do that a lot. If you watch Avengers movies, you should be used to this kind of thing. Like time travel, for instance. Okay, this is our current timeline. Something happens. Then we now enter counterfactual. What if we went back in time 20 years and did this and did this? Or, okay, this is how life happened. But, the person will now have a dream. Oh, what if, I married this other person or something? So if you like counterfactuals in movies like that, then I think it's worth watching the movie just for it. But then you let me know whether you think they pulled it off or not. Now, of course, obviously, the themes in this movie are, obvious. This whole thing of unconditional love, versus, what will I say, opportunistic, we can't even call it love, devotion, Abi? Devotion. Anyway, you understand what I'm trying to say? So that's one of the themes. What is unconditional love? All those sorts of things. So unconditional love, and then when people are doing, what's that thing for you? I can't remember the name of this thing. Like when you're around, people form like they're on your side, but when you're not there, they show their true color. I can't remember what that thing is called. Anyway, just skip my mind. So, of course, those are the sorts of themes. But before we continue, I just want to point out one thing because in Nollywood movies, in fact, it's not in Nollywood movie, it's just a theme in general. Whether it's Nollywood movie, Niger, or Bollywood movie, Indian movies, or Hollywood movies, Oyibo movies, there's one thing that we get twisted and unhelpful, and that is this whole thing of love. The way that these movies are going, they get everybody feeling as if love na emotions, like as if love is a feel. You get it? But that's problematic because yes, there is an emotional component when it comes to love. And by the way, when I'm saying this, I'm speaking to young men in particular because young men now they get this problem pass. Because for women, because eventually women get pregnant and blah blah blah. Women learn by hook or by crook. Women learn that love is a giving of self. Because at the end of the day, your child is an idiot or your child is not an idiot. Like how for do now you being mama. So like you just have to what will I say now? You just have to love. You get it. So biologically, women learn this lesson on their own. But the thing is, for men, there's nothing teaching us what the true meaning of love is, and that's one reason why I get really worried. When I see Oyibo film and Bollywood films, Indian films in particular, because when the guy is in love, the guy, that kind of love where like you be confused, like you cannot eat, you cannot sleep, you go to catch fever, those kind of love on a pro max level. So it's nice to watch all these things. But I beg any young man listening to this particular podcast episode, love, at least in the traditional Christian context, especially for those of us who are Catholic, love is not just a feeling. So the feeling that one day. So it's a normal something that you're supposed to see your wife and your bola will be at attention. So that one is normal. Oh, sorry. I hope there are no youngsters listening to this particular podcast. So that normal physical reaction supposed day. But then love, at least according to Thomas Aquinas, and I like that, is when you will the good of the other person because of the other person or for that person's sake. So love is I want what is good for you. Not because the thing will sweet me, but because the thing will be good for you. And that's why I'm saying that, for women, no problem, because any which way a woman will learn. Eventually she will learn. By the time she born, she will learn. Because a woman wants the best for the child, not just because it's good. Like the mom, as a mom, you'll be proud, but also because, it's good for the child as well. So women learn it. But there's nothing that teaches us men that. So we men, we have to learn and digest this on an intellectual level. So love is not just all these feelings. It is when you look at your wife and then you want the good of your wife, the progress of your wife, the success of your wife for her own sake, not because of how the thing will make you feel or how the thing will make you look. So, as we watch all these films up and down, Nollywood, Bollywood, everything, we should be enjoying the love, be enjoying the love. But we men, please, my brothers, just know there's something that women know that we haven't internalized, and that is this thing of love. At the end of the day, not be just feelings. You want the good of that the other person, for the sake of the other person. Because there's too many movies going around where we learn love as per, because of you I no fee eat, because of you I no fee sleep. What was that song? I think it was Junior and Pretty. Yeah, I think I was in secondary school then. There was this old rap group called Junior and Pretty. They were like rap pioneers in Nigeria, rap in pidgin English. This was a long time ago. Long time ago. Like this was military era before Obasanjo. Like I think around that time when Boba Marwa was governor of Lagos, because I was in St. Gregory's College then. So Junior and Pretty, they had this song. Is it Bolanle? Fine lady, Bolanle. So those are some of the lyrics. Anytime I think of you, I know if you eat. Anytime I think of you, I know if you sleep. So yeah, that is love. It's good. But then the other components to love as well. Anyway, so back to the movie. Now, these were my initial thoughts. When I saw this guy, Maurice Sam, I thought to myself, another one of these niggas. Like this guy, they feel like this guy feels like he's a fine boy. It feels like he's a fine boy. Just they carry chest up and down, just they flex, just they flaunt like this guy, Michael Dapper. So these guys, they feel, oh, well, anyway, it's good. Not that time, sha. When you're young and then you have muscle, you carry chest, And I know because I used to be that way too. Back when I was well, I'm still young, but when I was a little younger, in fact, these guys they vex me so I'm going to start working out too, so that myself I go to flex bicep, I go to carry chest. So my initial thoughts were, okay, Maurice Sam, like, yeah, cool. I like that you're doing your own movies and everything, but Maurice Sam and Michael Dapper, you guys should be careful. Oh. They know they typecast on serious typecasting. Okay, it's a film. We need somebody to be fine boy, somebody to talk soft, can they talk romantic, go they kiss, go they press. Oh, let's call Michael Dapper. Or is a romantic something? So, oh, let's call Maurice. So you guys be careful, oh. Maurice Sam, Michael Dapper, be careful. Don't let them typecast you guys. So stretch, do different kinds of roles. So yeah, those are my initial thoughts. And then also, apart from the fact that Maurice, the guy is bold, like I said, that pink. You should watch the film so you can see the pink suit that he wore. At least the pink was not bright pink. I think it was like a. Sorry, excuse me. I think it was the kind of pink that you call onion pink or something like that. Then Sophia Lakija. Okay, not surprised seeing her there because this movie for richer or for poorer. It's more of a traditional Nollywood kind of thing. When I say traditional Nollywood, I mean like Nollywood style movies from I don't know 20 30 years ago. The movies are slow. The pace is very slow. The movie is always kind of like a parable. It starts a long time ago in some unnamed village where there was a man who, and on and on and on and on and on, but very slow paced. And they use long drawn out shots and stuff like that. So I'm not used to seeing Sophie in this kind of stuff. So to be honest, at some point I was wondering, Sophia Lakija, what are you doing here? You're past this level. But then, excuse me. But then this is the point where someone like my wife will say, "Why are you talking? Are you paying her bills?" And my response is always like, "No, I'm not paying her bills, but I think she has passed, some kind of." My wife will say, "Look, if you're not paying her bills, like, why are you talking?" That's how she should ask me when I saw this guy. Um, what's his name? Roberts, Julia Roberts, the actress, the Igbo actress. Her younger brother, Eric. Abi, is it Eric? No, is it Eric? I can't remember his name, but her younger brother. I swear, I saw him in a Nollywood film on DSTV a couple of years ago. I called my wife. I say, "Babe, come and see." Say what? I say, "Is it not Julia Roberts' brother that is this?" And she was like, "Yeah, it's him, Sha." And then we started laughing. And I said, "Why would he do this kind of thing?" I was not angry at Julia Roberts. I said, "Julia Roberts, no, now. Like, I can't be Julia Roberts. I can't be somebody like that in Hollywood. Then my younger brother will now come and be acting Nigerian film." And then my wife said, "Are you paying his bills?" I said, "Yeah, I'm not paying his bills, but still, now, you somehow, your sister is Julia Roberts. You can't come and be acting Nollywood film." Anyway, so this was my initial thoughts. But like I said, the twist, yeah, the twist, alternate realities, alternative endings, stuff like that. Watch it. You might like the twist. But just know that the twist, yeah, they tried it, but they didn't execute it elegantly. It's not well done. But I like the fact that they tried. I like the fact that in Nollywood movies were trying some new devices. So, like I said, the themes of the movie, marriage vows. Marriage vows are necessary because marriages get tested under financial strain. It's not just financial strain. I remember when I was going for marriage class. That was when my wife and I were about to get married, and one of our lecturers, I should have paid attention, but I wasn't paying attention. The guy said, sorry, it was a woman. The woman said that there are 5 things that would test every marriage. That every marriage you go through these things. 5. I would like to tell you the 5, but honestly speaking, I was not paying attention, so I only remember 3. That's why I said I should have paid attention. I only remember 3. But the woman said there are 5 challenges that all of you will face. None of you will escape it. In my mind, I'm thinking, Madam, relax now. You dey shake me for us. Like, what's going on? So she said, I can't remember the order, but she mentioned sex. I'm like, couple will fight about sex. But then, yes, I've entered the marriage now and I've seen, apparently, yeah, you will fight about sex. Then she said, money. That one I already knew that, okay, yes, heavily couples always fight about money. And then she said, in laws. And in my mind, I'm thinking, couples will fight over in law again? Like how? But now I'm married, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you can fight over in laws. I was thinking it's just this whole thing of mother in law and daughter in law. I didn't realize that the quarrel can come from anywhere. Brother in law, cousin, your mother's auntie, sisters, uncle, as in it can come from anywhere. So 5 things that every single marriage is going to suffer. I can't remember the other two, but I remember sex, I remember money, and I remember in laws. So that's the reason why we need marriage vows. Because financial stress, sexual stress, in law stress, any stress. That's why we need the vows. So remember what it is that we have promised. Then another theme is wealth as a measure of masculinity. And in fact, that I really felt it in that film when the wife said, "Let's go out now, we'll go chop." So Oliver now, as per his everything, they've frozen everything. So the guy was thinking, no problem, it's good now. Let wifey take me out. So that's how they went to the restaurant now. After they eat finish, then the guy brought the bill. Then Oliver was like, "Hey babe, um, the bill is here." And then the wife was like, "Oh, okay, okay." That's then she now used napkin. Then she wipe her mouth. As per when you eat now, oil on your mouth. So she wipe her mouth. Then she begin to apply lipstick. Then she can't use hand sanitizer, hand cream, something like that. Then the husband was looking at her now. The guy look at the bill. The guy look her. That's how the wife look Oliver. And then she just, and then it's like, babe, the bill is here. And she's like, yes, I know that the bill is here. Take care of it. And then Oliver is like, but babe, you understand now? Like, I don't have money. I thought you were going to take care of it. And then she said, yes, I took care of it. I told you, let's go and eat out. But don't worry, it won't be an expensive restaurant. This is an affordable restaurant. I took care of it. That's how the guy looked the bill again, 230K. Meanwhile, Oliver not get anything. So, that whole thing of, if you can't provide, are you a man? That's something that was tested in this whole movie. If you can't drop money, who are you? But of course, if you've listened to any of my earlier reviews, there's this this thing of man as priest. Sorry, excuse me, man as a priest and man as a prophet or man as a leader. So there are other things to consider. But this man as provider, it was seriously tested, seriously tested. If you don't get Bali, are you a man? If you cannot provide, are you a man? If you're not living up to your responsibilities, are you a man? Then another theme that was tested in the movie was this whole thing of true loyalty versus fair weather friends. Now, some of you will be thinking just because of Oliver and Naya, his wife, but it's beyond that because when because remember, Oliver was a big boy now, and of course, he will get friends up and down. But then when his trajectory now can they crash, can they go low, people just fade, people evaporate. But then he had this friend who was still his guy, Ife. So Ife was still around. So, who is your friend? Fair weather friends, here today, gone tomorrow. What is true loyalty? So Ife was there. Then also on Naya's front, because Naya now Oliver's wife. So when Naya and Oliver them were on a high level, that level of, here's for your gorgeous smile, the guy drop bundle. Here's because you're sexy, the guy drop bundle. Here is for loving me, the guy drop bundle. Look, if nothing else, go and watch that first part of the film. It absolutely is impressive, and I'm going to do that one day. I'm just going to get stacks. Although I will not do dollars, I will do naira instead when I'm doing my own. I'm not going to do dollars. Sorry, excuse me. So for Naya now, when they were at that level, there was one friend who liked to hang out with her because they go to shop, they will buy golds, they do this, they do that, just have lunch, casual like that. But then when things were going down, that friend now started to ask her a question, Now, I thought you said that you and Oliver are fine. Say yes, we are fine. I say, because we're hearing on the TV that this thing, EFCC, blah blah blah. And then Naya said, no, we are fine. She said, well, okay, no problem. If you say you're fine, because you're not coming out again like you used to. We know they see you again like you used to. Say we're fine. So okay, this party is there, something, something, something. But we guys drop, like 500K each to attend, and that whole. So like her friend didn't help honestly. Unnecessary pressure, unnecessary pressure. So somebody's your friend, you claim she's your five and six. Her husband they go through financial, problem. Is this the time to now be gossiping and, prognosing and, stuff like that. So I like that. That whole thing was there. Excuse me. What does it mean to be truly loyal? What does it mean to be a friend? And then another thing throughout the whole movie is wealth as a test of character. So, um, Oliver, it's a question. I'm not sure of the answer, but did Oliver truly have character? Was he steadfast in his self worth? Or did he feel good when money was there and then he felt bad when money was not there? Anyway, watch it, make up your own mind by yourself. So, as usual, if you've been subscribed to the earlier podcast, you know that because I'm Catholic and because I'm a sales coach and business development consultant, I will always look at these movies from a Catholic perspective and then also from a business perspective. So, from a Catholic perspective, there's this whole thing of indissolubility of marriage. Indissolubility. Now, indissolubility means the thing no they dissolve, like stone. If you put stone in water, it will not dissolve. So that's a traditional Christian idea about marriage. But from the Catholic perspective, there's this idea that a marriage is indissoluble because people agree to certain things or certain things are implied. So when certain elements are missing, people did not in reality want to get married. Because there's some people nowadays, it's a trend. I haven't seen it in Nigeria, but it's a trend in Oibo country. People will say, I want to marry, but we will not have children. Now, the traditional Christian understanding of marriage, I'm not saying children are essential to marriage, please don't confuse me. Don't get confused. I'm just saying that legally, because also I studied law when I was in uni. So the older conceptions of marriage, whether it is the legal conceptions of marriage or traditional Christian perspectives of marriage, assumed some fundamentals. That number one, these people are promising exclusivity, like nobody will come, nobody will enter again. All right, exclusivity. Then children, that they will be open to children. Then what again? I can't remember. But it's been a long time since I went to law school. So there might be that argument that did Naya really intend marriage? If it looks as if from the beginning on was, I do, so long as you they provide. Meanwhile, if you know provide, then we gas revisit what's going on here. So some of you might ask the question, did she really intend marriage? Can you dissolve a marriage? Can the marriage scatter? And then there's something that they played with in the movie. I think Oyibo people call it no fault divorce because traditionally, like I said, I studied law, but that was a long time ago. Things might have changed. But back when I studied law in Nigeria, there was no such thing as no fault divorce. If anybody wanted divorce, you would have to go to the court and tell the court that, free me. And this is the reason why. I don't want to do again because she did this. Or I don't want to do again because he did that. Then the court will now decide, now, okay, based on waiting don't transpire, let's scatter this thing. Then you now get divorced. But then in the West, there's something that is now called no fault divorce. It just means you can go to the court and say, Oga George. The judge will say, yes, why are you here? He said, we don't want to do it again. He said, what's the reason? He said, we don't want to give reason. Just dissolve, free us. We want to go, we want waka. So that's no fault divorce. Like divorce, don't give any reason. So no fault divorce is taking off in the West. In the movie, I think they got it confused, like it's taking off in Nigeria because she just showed up and said, here's the paper, sign it, I want a divorce. No be so. That's not how it works in Nigeria. In Nigeria, Okay, well, like I said, I haven't practiced law in a very long time. So, but back when I was in school, this was the process. You would go to the courts, and you would apply for you start the divorce process, and then it's not even automatic because the law at least then used to recognize that there's a heating up and there's a cooling down phase, because this thing now, because sometimes you get angry, like what the hell, blah 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 blah, you just scatter everything, you go like this, she goes like that. Then maybe after 2 3 months, things calm down. Maybe the guy will now say, "Babe, like relax now. You're my sunshine. You're my this. Blah blah blah." And then they reconcile. So that's why the law sort of like has like a cooling down period, and it's a normal something. Anybody that is married in Nigeria, you understand this thing. Yeah, you understand. It's a normal something in this part of the world. Although I haven't experienced my own in marriage. The one I experienced was before marriage. There was one time me and my wife, like, we had this quarrel. I can't remember what the quarrel was. And so my wife began to shout in the public, because then we were based in Aberdeen, then Scotland. So my wife began to shout. Oh, she washed me down in the public. That's so you both see me. They come, they laugh, and I can't remember what I said. And then my wife just, then my girlfriend, she now shouted at me, "If you don't like it, you can go." Then she just walked across the road and started going. In my mind, I'm thinking, what the hell? Like me, a whole me. Ah, me self I vex, and then that's how I just went my own way. But anyway, later on, I called her. She didn't answer her phone. I called her sister. Her sister started giving me all kinds. Oh, she's sleeping. She's in the bathroom. She's cooking. She's this. She's that. And I went to the house. We had a talk. And to God be the glory. We're married today. Yeah, give God the glory. So all is well. But what I'm just saying is that there's that heating up period, then there's that cooling down period. That whole blah 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 blah, scatter everything. And tomorrow you reconcile. So, in Nigeria, you go to the courts. You don't unilaterally divorce yourself, but of course, you know how mummies and daddies are, and our uncles and aunties. Any small thing, you know, your daddy or your daddy or your uncle will just go and impregnate one small girl outside, and before you know it, you start saying, "I'm divorced." You're divorced how? Nobody gave you decree of divorce. You think you're anyway. Let me just leave it. So you go to court, then you apply, then there's the proceedings, then they give a decree nisi. I think it was called a decree nisi. So the decree nisi is like that temporary kind of judgment, and then it lasts for a while. I can't remember if it's 3 months or 6 months or whatever before the final divorce decree comes. Then when that final one comes, the judge, just give the order, bam, smack it. Then yes, people are now divorced. But then in this movie, she came with an envelope, and then she told Oliver, sign the papers. So that one now, Oyibo something, no fault divorce. If things haven't changed in Nigeria, even if it changed itself, it will start in Lagos, because when it comes to law, Lagos is much more progressive, as we say nowadays. Lagos is more progressive than other parts of Nigeria. So, uh, yeah, that's not how it works in real life. I can't just show up to my wife and give her an envelope and say, "Oh yeah, sign," and then we're divorced. Now, in this part of the world, except if things have changed, you want divorce? Call your lawyer, go to the court, go there, begin to argue, and let's see what else. Okay, then also another Christian theme. This whole thing of the domestic church, because the Catholic Church teaches that apart from this church that everybody goes to, that main building, there's also the idea of the domestic church. And the domestic church just means a father and mother and then children, all of you together, all of una, one entity. That is also the church. And so there's this idea that the father is the priest. Now, some of you will say Christianity don't come again, but see, this one is not a Christianity something. Apparently, it's like a universal something. Because when I was getting married, my father decided to give me small education. So he told me that, look, when you get married, because I'm Tiv, I'm from Benue State, that we are going to present to you 2 items. Do you know what they are? I said yes. The reason why I know is because after my stint as a lawyer, I started covering weddings, and I had shot a few Tiv traditional weddings. So they give you a stick, a staff, a spear. Spear is better. Then they wrap you in this traditional wrapper. So for those of you who are Tiv like me, or who are from like Edo people, that big wrapper, or Ghanaian people too. That kente, that big wrapper that they just tie, they give you those two things. Then, sorry, there's a third item. Then a bag. So my father said, Do you know why they give you that cloth? I say, yeah, it's obvious because I'm thief. So that's why they're giving me the cloth. And that's why they will give my wife the cloth. It's a sign of acceptance, like we're marrying you. You are now one of us. So they'll dress you, we'll dress you like us. Then my father said, that spear that they're giving you, why are they giving it to you? And then I said, because it's a sign of protection that I'm supposed to protect my family. My father said, very good. That this stick, this spear that we're giving you, you will never use it to fight anybody, but it is a sign. Remember that as a man, you're supposed to be like physically, you're supposed to stand in the gap for your family. That if there's anything that is danger, they should meet you physically first before they meet your wife, not to talk of the children. So as a man, you protect the family. And, well, we pray that, that time never comes because who doesn't like life? But, sure, that's how it's supposed to be. That's why despair is there. Then my father now said, that bag that they're giving you, why are they giving you? I said, I don't know. He now explained that traditionally, a man was the head of a household and would protect the family, not just from physical aggression, but also from spiritual aggression. So that bag that they're giving you is what traditionally where all your, how will I put it? I don't even know what to call them now. How will I say it in English? All your spiritual, how will I say now? Like spiritual condiments, all the things that we use, to jazz, to protect your family. That's where it will be. So that is it. The spear is for physical aggression. If anybody come, chukam, cha! And then if they're coming from a spiritual angle, you just open your bag and then just do the jazz. So any which way your family is covered. So this whole thing of the man as a priest is not just a Christian thing. It's in our traditional societies. Like if for able people too. When I was in primary school, there's this book that my popsy forced us to read, Ikenga. That's when I first came across this whole thing of a man as a priest. So you wake up every day, and as the head of the household, you pray to the Ikenga, and the Ikenga is supposed to protect your whole family. So this is not a matter of Christianity importing anything. It doesn't matter which culture you run to. It's your role. So it's a good theme that was explored in the movie. This whole thing of domestic church, because at some point, Oliver and his wife, then they try conceive because they are looking for fruit of the womb, and the fruit of the womb was not coming. So one day, Oliver, called his wife and said, well, let us pray. And then he, said a prayer of covering and a prayer of protection over him, over his wife, and over the future children. So that part was nice. It was nice to see that. The reason why, for me, it was nice to see that. Sorry, woman. Sorry, that I'm sounding somehow. It's just that there are lots of movies that are being made that address women. This is what a woman needs to know. This is how women are treated. This is how, movies talk about womanhood, but there's not a lot there about manhood. There's a lot about how men are useless, men are stupid, men are dumb, men are scum, men are this, men are that. But there are very little movies out there showing us this is what a man is supposed to be. So when I see something like this, I say, okay, that's a good one. Let me take this learning. And my brothers, we should be taking this learning too. Anyway, another theme that is explored in the movie is this thing of forgiveness. But just like when I reviewed Monica Part 1 and 2 with Uche Montana, it's the same thing. Can you really say that Oliver forgave? Because Oliver used his mouth and told them that, look, mommy, I forgive you. He said, babe, I forgive you. Like, it's not a problem. I've forgiven you. So that's what he said. But is it really forgiveness? Because Oliver vexed. He vexed. Seriously, serious vexing. So he said, I forgive you with his mouth. But then he bought the house where they were living and then he sold it to other people. That was kind of spiteful. Like, you've got your money back. You've left. Like, was it necessary to now, like, bankrupt them in the process? Buy the house that they live in and then sell it to another people, then give them quick notice. Is that one forgiveness again? Anyway, but you will decide when you watch it. Did he really forgive? Then, from the business angle, yeah, there was lots of stuff there that I liked. Professional skepticism. Yeah, you guys be skeptical. When you're doing business, shine your eye. That's what we mean. Business skepticism. Shine your eye. Everything. Due diligence. Because some guys were telling him that, look, this Martin deal, something. He was like, no, I have no Martins now. Martin's not my guy. No, more run am. Just leave it. Just leave it. When it comes to business, it's nothing like more run am. You check it. You check all your assumptions. Okay, the deal is a good one, is a bad one, based on this, based on that. Okay, this one check out or this one check out. Like, what are the elements behind the deal? Does everything align? Does it make sense? Is everything pure? Then you go ahead. You can't just say, Martin's not my guy now. No wahala, more run. I'm just free. I'm FA. Leave this thing. Leave this thing. Now Martin's now he be my guy. I don't know him since from Tay. That's not how you do a deal. Then, of course, all the fraud that was going on, Martins did fraud. Then Naya, her new toaster, I think his name was Derek. Derek was able to run out with run away with the money. So basically, I like this whole thing of shine your eye, you know. So excuse me. So I like that whole thing of shine your eye running through this whole movie. So you're a woman, somebody is toasting you, whether you're married or not, no problem. You have some liquid assets or you have land. The guy say, we're going to be married. Bring your money, something. So shine your eye. Check it first. Check it first. The guy that was toasting Naya, he said he wanted to buy house in America. He only showed her picture. She was foolish. They show you picture and then you caved in. Did you see title deeds? Did you see C of O? Did you see anything to show that this house is real? The guy just show you picture. Shine your eye. Look well. When money and business is involved, look well. Be diligent. I said diligent. Be diligent. Be diligent. Yes. So, my overall verdict. Should you watch the movie? My answer, honestly, is no. Don't watch the movie. I know some of you will be shocked. But yeah, that's my verdict. No, this is not the movie to watch. The pacing is kind of slow. It's a modern movie, but it's shot with the whole traditional Nollywood aesthetic. So if you're a modern viewer, you might find it hard to watch. Then, of course, the movie is a parable. Really, it's just a parable. So the characters are lacking in depth. The characters are lacking in development. So the characters are not rich. The characters are one note. They're one note. So yeah, I don't think so. Then Sophie Alakija, you're correct, babe. You've been in better movies. I'm surprised that you act this kind of film. If my wife was here, my wife would tell me to keep quiet, that I'm not paying your bills. And I understand. Yeah, I'm not the one paying your bills, and you guys to look for this money. But Sophia Lakija, you know, except if me, I'm rating you too high. I think there's some kind film where you're not supposed to act. Then another part that was not good in the movie that I didn't dwell on. At some point, the guy Oliver was thinking of moving on, and he was going to move on with a girl called Kamsi, and Kamsi is his wife's sister. And that's also one thing about the movie I didn't like. This whole sister something. Look, it's culturally inappropriate in this part of the world. It's morally inappropriate that the marriage is scatter or something that happened, but this your ex-wife is still alive. Then you're now going to follow her younger sister. It's somehow now. It's very somehow. And I really don't think these are themes we should be exploring in Nollywood movies, because this is the second film that I'm seeing that people are exploring this kind of thing. I beg, it's a bit too touchy. We're not supposed to allow them like that. We should not be putting these kinds of things out there. We should not. It should not even be seen to be normal that anything happened, and so because of that, I now go to look my wife's younger sister. It's somehow we are not goats, so let's not be looking at things like that in the movie. So, because of all these reasons, I'll say no, don't watch the movie. However, if you want to see the twist at the end, yeah, then go ahead, watch it. Because I tell you, I have only seen this twist done in one other Nigerian movie. I'm not going to say which one it is, or else you know what the twist is. So, overall, nah, I won't say this is a movie to watch. I won't say so. But if you're a fan of Maurice Sam, and you're one of these people who thinks he's the most handsome thing ever, and you're looking for another movie where he flexes his biceps and he shows his chest and all that, and he's wearing tight suits and everything. So if you're one of those girls, you like Maurice Sam, by all means, go and watch your boy. You see lots of scenes that make you feel, that make you feel happy, make you feel good. He's wearing his loud clothes, he's wearing his colorful clothes. Even when he's in houseboy mode, his wife beater t-shirt, and when he's washing the car, the shirt gets wet. And then, you get to see his bicep, you get to see his pecs, you get to see everything here. So if you're a fan of Maurice Sam, if you're one of those girls that you think he's the best thing since sliced bread, then go and watch. But overall, I don't think this movie was the best movie that Nollywood had to. I don't think it's the best kind of movie that Nollywood has to offer. I still have some other movies with of Maurice Sam that I've put on my list so I can watch and review. So Maurice Sam, Benjamin, what's his name? I can't remember. One tall yellow guy like this. I just discovered him recently. Then, so there are a couple of other people, and then of course Omoni Oboli. I have at least 30 Omoni Oboli movies that I want to watch and review. But the thing is, let me not be lazy. Let me not just only be reviewing Omoni Oboli film. Let me look at other people's movies as well. So that's my review of For Richer or For Poorer. Again, from Morris Sam TV. That's the handle on YouTube. Then, yeah, starring Morris Sam, obviously, and Sophie Alakija as his wife. So that's it. That is my own. Yeah, that's it. In fact, I've spoken too much because the movie was never up to 2 hours. The review that I've done is already like 1 hour. So anyway, let me just leave it like that. So if you'd love to connect with me, you can call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080 64662140. So thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you all at the next episode. I beg, I want to crave you guys' indulgence. Please, no vex that I don't have a steady schedule for posting. The truth is, um, I'm a business development consultant, so like I pay my bills through something else. I am not a content creator, so that's the reason why you see episodes whenever you see. So I'm sure you've noticed that the first episode dropped, the next episode was like 3 weeks, and I think the episode after that was like 3 or 4 days after. So no vex, I beg. It's because I have other things I do, to chase the daily bread. But I'll do my best to yeah, I'll do my best to keep it coming. So, hope you guys are having fun so far. I'll catch you at the next episode.